Welcome back. Today, I wanted to expand on a theme that characterized the last time that I led the Taizé service. My talk is the misplaced music of spirituality. Most people of my acquaintance really wax poetic when they talk about the effect of music in their lives. Every area of human experience is touched by and expressed, I think, most beautifully by music. Our yearnings, our joys, our sorrows, our hopes, dreams, visions, emotions, and more. Our bodies literally pulse to the vibrations of the universe and of our bodies. From time immemorial, the sounds of music and rhythms, including banging rocks together, drumming, chanting, creating harmonies, singing, and playing rudimentary and sophisticated instruments, and so on. All of that has bonded us to the vibrations within us and around us. Music can create profound mystical experiences, and most importantly, we unlock our connection to spirit with the vibrations that we feel and express through music. I guess a little bit like a James Michener novel. I think before we talk about music, it's helpful to consider what existed, if anything, before the creation of the universe. Scientists generally agree that the universe was created around 14 billion years ago. Advances in physics and astronomy have proven that there really was a beginning. Astrophysicists Stephen Hawking, George Ellis, and Roger Penrose expanded Einstein's theory of relativity and calculated, to the satisfaction of most mainstream scientists, that time and space did actually have a beginning. Prior to the Big Bang, or whatever created the universe, these three astrophysicists concluded that nothing existed prior to that. Not space, time, matter, or energy. There was truly no vibration, no potential for sound or music before the universe was created. They posit that maybe the entire universe existed and was contained inside a singularity, which I learned about from Star Trek, contained in an inaccessible singularity, a place with no existence or form. In researching this topic, I literally spent hours and hours contemplating this kind of nothing, this nothingness, and I had little success. It's an amazing concept. And yet, when the universe did burst into existence, scientific evidence suggests there was a great and blindingly fast and bright explosion of matter. That matter probably contained the first vibrations of the universe, because we know that all matter vibrates. And if there are vibrations, there is the potential for sound. However, that explosive moment and what followed could not create sound, because sound waves cannot exist and travel in a vacuum. In addition, for it to be sound, somebody needs to be able to hear it. And we were billions of years from that. Looking at creation through the Old Testament, the writer of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2, writes, "In the beginning, when God created the heaven and earth, the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters." As with the explosion of matter in the Big Bang Theory, this passage in Genesis talks about a wind from God. The similarity is that both sources embrace the idea that the moment of creation was accompanied by the scattering and the vibration of matter. But Genesis, as the Big Bang Theory, again raises the question, what existed before the creation of the heavens and the earth? We know not. I don't believe any of us can even conceive of it. So for many years, NASA has focused on the cosmic vibrations from the continually expanding universe. And when I read about the Big Bang Theory, they're not talking about an explosion from somewhere in space. They liken it to a balloon that was completely unseeable, that just explodes and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the matter goes in all directions. And that balloon, as far as we can tell, thank you Hubble's telescope, it's continuing to expand. And as it expands, it creates these vibrations. And the vibrations are actually radio emissions, which can travel in space. NASA has been able to convert some of these cosmic radio waves into sounds in recent history. Most people have not heard these ancient songs, but I downloaded, if the computer turns on and everything plays. In 2001, they recorded the radio waves near Jupiter, and this is what the cosmos sounded like. It's only a minute or so, but I think it's absolutely magical. I'll let it continue to play in the background. On the NASA website, they have recorded and cataloged a number of cosmic recordings of the radio waves, and they have an easy selection and play it process. They're available for free, and they encourage people to download a special mix that they put together for your Halloween entertainment. And oh, hey, how'd I do that? Okay, so that was Jupiter. Man, human, woman. Let's jump forward from 14 billion years ago to 2.8 million years ago. In Ethiopia, I believe in the 30s, the oldest human remains ever were discovered. To appreciate the majesty of finding the skeletal remains and to consider what follows, it's important to know what Ethiopia was probably like 2.5 to 3 million years ago. According to the Smithsonian website, about 2.5 million years ago, Africa was wooded. And starting somewhere around 2.5 million years ago, it began to die off, the temperatures changed, and Africa mostly became an area of vast grasslands. There's evidence of some predators, some pretty ugly predators with big teeth that probably attacked humans. But the human teeth in the jawbone found indicates that the humans were mostly eating grasses. Now that I've set the scene, I asked you to close your eyes and imagine what that earliest person and his or her contemporaries heard with their ears when they closed their eyes and just listened. There is no quiz, but let me share a few of my ideas. I think the earliest humans needed to listen first and foremost for the sound of predators that might endanger them. They probably listened for some animals that were smaller and dangerous to them, and they may have eaten some of that nutrition as a food supplement. These early humans, as they laid in bed, laid on the grass, in the cave probably listened to the trickling sound of water and for the cries of small dangerous creatures. And when there was little to do, it's likely that they rested and allowed the sounds of nature to wash over them. Without auditory distractions like trains and airplanes, it's likely that they easily felt at one with the vibrations of their bodies and of their environment. Their ears were used for hearing and to internalize almost all the sounds available. Consciously or not, I suspect that in many ways they were very close to the experience of being one with spirit. Fast forward to this morning. Here we sit. In the silence, what do you hear? Were you conscious of hearing the sounds that you're hearing before I drew your attention to them? Did you notice the sound of the fountain? Did you notice any buzzing from the lights or air coming through the vents? How about the traffic in the highway? Think about how you feel as you ponder these extraneous noises. So let's try something a little different. I invite you all to sing Alleluia with me. We may sing it twice if we get going. When you were singing, where was your awareness? Did the extraneous noises fade away, or were you still conscious of them? Were your eyes closed? If so, you might consider why. Did you feel like the music resonated with you? Compared to earlier, how do you feel now? It's no mistake that my ministry has always been music. When I sing music like that, I feel like I'm in touch with the divinity inside me. I feel one with man. I close my eyes so that no sense, that visual sense, doesn't pull me away from the music. You see, today, as opposed to 2.8 million years ago and centuries ago, in order to be one with spirit, we must quiet our minds in a way that our ancient predecessors did not have to do. For them, ambient sounds were soothing, and early humans probably enjoyed them. Today, ambient sounds of the modern world are generally noxious. We're bombarded with sounds: trucks, ambulances, sirens, television, and most annoyingly for me, music from the car next to me. Rarely music I would choose. And so how does a modern person handle these affronts to our hearing? The real answer, at least to me, was nothing short of absolutely shocking. Instead of primarily using our ears to hear and to embrace the vibrations of our bodies and the environment, we now use our ears to filter out unpleasant sounds and music. Unfortunately, in blocking these life-negating sounds, like a fisherman with a net, we have a bycatch of blocking life-affirming vibrations that would enhance our functioning and our connection with spirit. We humans seem to crave the ambient sounds of nature. When people go on vacation, some go and visit family, some go and explore big cities or other nations. However, many people choose to go to a cabin or go fishing or go on a silent yoga retreat. These latter venues are places where the ambient sounds are more likely to be the sounds experienced by our human predecessors, ancient human predecessors. We go to places where we are more likely to experience the vibrations of our body and nature and our little piece of the universe. Scientific evidence suggests that since the earliest times, humankind has drummed, chanted, hummed, sung, meditated, and danced to internal and external rhythms. The vibrations of music live within and outside of us, and they compel us to notice and express them. However, if there's an impenetrable layer of noise overlying the natural vibrations of the universe and of ourselves, we can simply miss them. We can miss the vibrations. We can miss the oneness. And if we miss them, we miss the harmony and healing that these vibrations bring to our bodies and spirits. We can miss the oneness with spirit that we all seek. The modern human tends to use hearing to filter out toxic vibrations and sounds. We no longer use our ears to experience and embrace the ambient sounds around us. Dr. Roberto Assagioli, I was hoping that Gabriella or Laurie would be here today to help me with that last name. Dr. Roberto considered the impact of sound on organic and inorganic matter. He wrote, "As is well known, sound has great power over inorganic matter. By means of sound, it is possible to cause geometric figures to form in the sand, and also to cause objects to be shattered. How much more powerful, then, must be the impact of this force on the vibrating, living substance of our sensitive bodies?" We are fragile creatures in many ways. Our minister, Reverend Rachel, often speaks about listening to the lyrics of the music we choose to play and being careful not to listen to music that contains toxic, noxious lyrics that will enter our consciousness insidiously, ultimately damaging our connection to ourselves and to spirit. By the same token, it's wise to consider sounds and tones to which we subject our bodies. Our bodies constantly vibrate, And to maximize the positive impact on our bodies and spirits, the music and rhythms that we enjoy should blend with, reflect, and harmonize with our internal vibrations. A lot of the music I enjoy does. I shudder to think what our son's internal vibrations are when he listens to techno, which sounds like somebody put a speaker in the garbage disposal. Another doctor, Dr. Larry Dossey, considered about how we've chosen the sounds that we choose to uplift us. And he had an epiphany one day. It suddenly came to me that the word for the spirit of the universe has the sound ah in many languages. To wit, God, Yah, Ra, Allah, Brahma, Atman, Yahweh, Ram, Baal, Ahura, Mazda, Og, Hachiman, Mab, Nagwal, Mana, Wakan, Huaka. I think it's because the ah sound is so relaxing of the jaw and throat, letting go, giving in to what is. It makes me reminded of the oneness of all us folks. So where do we go from here? We've identified a barrier to our greatest good, to actualizing it. The misplaced music of spirituality is only misplaced if we fail to realize that our ears no longer function as they did many centuries and many millions of years ago. Once we realize that our ears are filtering out toxic sounds and music, we must try to continually be aware of this. Thereby, we can guard against filtering out the vibrations and music that feed our connection with the universe, each other, and with spirit. To overcome this obstacle to our wholeness, we need to constantly be aware of and seek out the healthy, life-affirming vibrations, sounds, and music in our bodies and environments. By so doing, we strengthen our connection with spirit and with the universe. Thank you.